Hi everyone, I am back today with another organization system set up for 2016. This one's going to be all about my family weekly schedule that I use. You've seen this plenty of times. This is my Erin Condren Life Planner. It's 18 months, and so of course that means it's running out this month in December. And so I needed to come up with something else, but this system has worked out beautifully for me. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, just very briefly, I just use this for a menu planner. I mark off the days with whole reinforcements, and then I just have my family's just weekly schedule, and I'm doing menu tracking, weather tracking, all that kind of thing. So it just ends up looking just like that. What I showed you I was going to use was my Franklin Covey A5 Aurora binder that I had that wasn't being used very much last year. And as you can see, they are both the same exact size, the A5 and the Erin Condren. That size is all the same. But with a ring bound binder, as you guys probably know, the actual pages inside are quite a bit smaller. So when I was setting this up, there's January, let me show the blank pages first. So these pages are Avery brand. They're only like $4 or $5 at Target. They're horizontal, and they have timelines down each of the two columns, which wasn't really appropriate, or I didn't really need those for a family planner. But as you can see, as I started, what I started to do actually over here was just to see how it would look to use some washi to block that off. I started putting in some menu stuff right here, but as you can see, I was also separating the days with my skinny washi. And like I said, as you can see, it's getting very cramped, very busy, very fast, and I've hardly put anything in. These are undated, so I have washi tape with the months and the days. This sticker right here is only about an inch, so you can see how much room that takes up. And then when I get my breakfast and my dinners in here, it really just does not leave a lot of room, even for some writing. And I really got used to the Erin Condren, the functional decorating. I really did like that. Let me show you the difference between the two pages so you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's quite a bit of difference here. So let's go, here's the weekly. Let me go to a page that's good. So you can see that the Erin Condren pretty much is about one column on each side bigger than these pages, which is a lot of room to lose. And so let me show you the month as well, if I can get there. It's going to be kind of the same thing where it's just a lot of room. So this extra column over here is going to be that difference. So you could probably fit, I'm going to say 3 boxes of these inserts into 2 of the Erin Condren boxes. So that's just a lot of room to lose. And I didn't really like it. The more I tried to use it, the more frustrated I got. Just kind of the same thing with my monthly family calendar. It just really wasn't working. And the more I tried to use it, the more kind of I got into this kind of planner funk or planner type depression, whatever you want to call it. I didn't even want to use it. So have no fear though. I had to, even though I am not going to be using this, I am going to be using it for another purpose. So here is your sneak peek. I will do a setup video and a walkthrough of that one later. But I'm definitely going to be using my Franklin Covey ring binder for 2016. And then so I was back to square one. So what I ended up buying was a happy planner, which I didn't have in my plans, but since the other thing didn't work out, my other plan, I went ahead and got a happy planner. So the reason I got one obviously is going to be price. It's a lot cheaper than Erin Condren. I didn't want to buy one of those again and I think she's raised her prices as well. It seemed like a lot of people have raised their prices at least $5 for this next year. So this is a lot cheaper. Now I will tell you, if you are in the market or thinking about getting a happy planner, this one is also, there's a price increase looming. When I went to my Hobby Lobby, it was already increased to $29.99. I went to another Michael's that I had around, and I was able to find this for $24.99 still. And I was able to use, of course, a 40% coupon, so that only leaves me with $15. So that's way, way cheaper. It still has the same exact layout as the Erin Condren. And I'm not going to be doing a review on this because there are plenty of wonderful videos out there for that. But that's why I did this. So I also have been intrigued by the disc-bound system. I've never had a planner like that. And like I said, I really just got used to that size and the layout. Just everything was working in my Erin Condren. So I like that the happy planner is just like that. I do need a pocket. I believe that's the only thing that's probably missing, which my pocket in my Erin Condren, I just have a few supplies. I don't really use a lot, but I do want to keep a few. I use those whole reinforcements to mark off days, and I do have some other, usually some weather stickers or just some other, basic stickers in there. So I will link below a couple of videos, several videos that I have found on adding things into the Happy Planner without buying the punch, because I don't want to buy that. And I also don't have any plans on buying any of the wonderful extras that the Happy Planner has. I don't need any of that. I just needed the basic planner. So like I said, the one thing I need is a pocket, and also if you just want to add any other things, there's several great tutorials that I found, like I said, out there that explain how to do that, because I don't want to add any more to my cost on this. So let me show you, and then I'm going to show you also why I chose this particular one. The ones that were at my Michael's were Every Day is a Gift, Love My Life, and then the gold dots. They all had the horizontal layout like this, the vertical layout. So exactly like the Erin Condren. One of the reasons I chose this one is because all of the weekends on the Happy Planners are shaded. Some of the other ones had, like this is green for the month of August here. The weekends were shaded in green. And so each month the weekends were shaded a different color. That was definitely not a deal breaker for me, but I preferred all of the months in this particular one. All of the weekends are exactly the same, this nice, light tan, light beige shaded color. So I really like that. Also, each one of the months, which I've already taken the months out, but like for instance, since this is an 18-month planner, one of the Julys, and I think it was the Love My Life one, one was purple and one was green. Again, not a huge deal breaker necessarily, and I can get over green for July, but purple, it just doesn't make sense in my brain why purple would be a July color. So the colors in this particular planner made a lot more sense to me. Also, they are the same. So July in this month or this planner is red, and then you go to the other July and it is also the same exact red, which I like that consistency in this one. And then also some of the colors were like a fluorescent color, which I've mentioned before. I don't really like fluorescent colors. Anyway, this one was just really nice and standard colors. I actually wrote these down here. So January, June, and I think there was one more, maybe not. Okay, so January and June are blue. February, July, and December are red. March and August are green. April and June are blue. May is purple. September is gold, which I haven't really seen that a lot in a planner. I think some Erin Condren might have a little bit, and then October is orange. So for me, in my brain, those colors kind of make sense and coordinate with the month and the things that are going on for that month. As you can see, I've already taken out the first 6 months, and I have to say, I'm kind of over 18-month planners. Like this one didn't have an option, but it seems that invariably months are going to get wasted in an 18-month planner. And from what I've seen, usually they start in July and go to December of the next year. I haven't really seen ones that have started in January and go to June of the next year. So I just don't really like that. So I mean, like I said, the Happy Planner doesn't really have that option, so I'm okay with it. But I have taken out the 6 months. So right off the bat, I lost, if you want to think of it this way, a third of my money, so $5. But I'm okay with that because I love all the other stuff. And then another thing I wanted to mention with this discs is if I had this Martha Stewart pad right here, and this fits in really nicely with the disc. I wasn't sure if this was going to fit. This is the only product I have, but if you have some old Martha Stewart disc products, they will definitely fit in the Happy Planner, so that was really nice. And the only other thing I've noticed, which is just an observation with the disc, is that it feels very, as you can see, it's very loose, and it doesn't feel very stable to me. I have mentioned before that I have, which I'm trying to get, it's very large, but I have this large easel that I sit my planners on, my weekly family planners like this. So it doesn't feel very stable. I definitely wouldn't feel comfortable using this as a personal planner and it being portable. but I do really like it, and I think it's going to be fine on my stand. The other thing I was going to mention back to my Franklin Covey is I didn't really like the way the binder looked on my easel as well. That's just a very, I know, very nitpicky thing, but it is what it is. So I'm going to be using this the exact same way. So let me actually get these out of the way. So I just have that as my first page. So the same exact thing. I do this is the only thing that's different. So I do want to use this as like family monthly goals that I will be using. So there's January, that will start. I think I'm probably going to tape or glue these two pages together since I don't need those, but here's January. And then I'm still going to be using this as my menu planner, and then right here on the side I'm going to be using or taking notes on what I want to use out of my pantry and my freezers. And then for the weekly, the only thing I've lost right here with the Erin Condren is this bottom one. So this is where I usually put my menus, down here on the bottom. So one week it'll have a quote, and then the next week it doesn't have a quote. So when it doesn't have one, I'll just put my Avery little labels down here. And when it does have one, I'll just probably put it on the very bottom of these boxes. And then the notes right here I use as what I need to use out of my fridge for that week. And as you can see, I have covered up this January already with some washi tape, just that 6mm washi tape that I use. If you're new to this kind of thing, I definitely wouldn't recommend any kind of pre-decorating like I've done here. But since I've used this system for 18 months, I know what works for me. I know what I like. So that's why I went ahead and did it. And for some reason, which I'll show you, I was doing this somewhat in my Erin Condren, but when I started using it as my family planner, I was not marking off those sections like that. And I'm trying to show a good page. Let me just show one that's not used. But the Erin Condren has theirs separated. The morning, day, and night, of course, are separated, but also these are separated, the boxes are separated. And so I don't know, for me, I wanted to cut all my washi the exact size of the days, so that got very cumbersome to do that. Whereas the Happy Planner, they're all continuous. And so for me, it's a lot easier to get over that and to use my washi tape to cover off the morning, afternoon, and evening. So that's just what I've done, but definitely that's not necessary. Here's again with the rings. It's not as loose on the weekly when you have it open, and probably when you have all of your 18-month pages in here, it's probably not as wobbly, but like I said, I'm okay with it. So not very much. This is just, Thursday's my TV night, and I only watch 2 shows. It's Elementary and Bones, and fortunately they are at different times on different stations, so I can watch them both the same night. But I know for sure that they'll both be back on there. And then I did go ahead and cover up February as well. I didn't want to go ahead and cover up the entire year because it does get a little bit bulky when you have washi in the same exact spot for the exact same time. But yeah, for the weekly spread, back to what I've used, I just do all of our family appointments and things that are going on, a little bit more detail on the weekly than I would be able to put on a monthly calendar. But that is why I bought a Happy Planner. I'm really, really, really excited about it. What I've learned, and I'm going to tell you this, what I have learned from my family planner experience here with my monthly calendar and my weekly planner is that the system I have was working out beautifully and it wasn't broken. And so why try and fix something that's not broken? And also, I think there is such a thing as being too cheap. There's a difference between being frugal and then being cheap. I think I was being way too cheap because for $15 is essentially what I spent for both of them. I am very, very, very happy with it. And I know for sure that it's going to work out. And what does that end up being? Like $1.25 a month? I think that's a small price to pay for happiness. So anyway, that is my system that I'm going to continue to use. I had to go with a different planner there, but it's working out great. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.